Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US stocks. This is actually the tech sector here, the XLK, and it just gives you a nice clean view of the trend to the upside of where I think that we are for the NASDAQ stocks, really in a general sense, or as a moving sort of average as such. Yeah, so we're still, we talked about last time we spoke, last few times, and we've had a holiday. The US have had that holiday. So, yeah, I just think we're still in this particular wave 4 here, that's all. Yeah, so we've got 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and then the nice strong third wave here, isn't it, Maybe I could do that a little bit differently, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third, fourth, and fifth. So it's pretty clean, So some of the stocks that, say like Apple, for example, with Apple, I've got this wave 3 sitting here, which is probably wrong. I just got to kind of figure out where I've gone wrong, but I think Apple also had a different start date here as well. We'll just come back to that in a moment. This is the NASDAQ here. So that wave 4 that I was talking about, I think we've got this to go here, something like this, and then moving up at that point. But it does look a bit impulsive here in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 moving up here. So we would need that, and then we'd need an ABC pattern here, and then we would need that, and then we would need that, and then we could go up from that point. It will stay within this 15,000 medium level here, group 1 above, group 2 below. But it's possible that it could just push up through here. There are stocks like Tesla that can push up, but the majority of them, I think that we need to see them sort of correct a little bit more. Wave 4s are tricky. Just when you think you've got it sorted out, you get this extra fractal pattern in there. But in a nutshell, none of these markets, I suppose there's a few of them like Google, but generally speaking, they haven't really pulled down a lot, and the NASDAQ is obviously a sign of that, being the average of the top 100, the NASDAQ 100. So I think we need to expect a little bit more to come down a bit further. So just be a little bit mindful of any sort of move to the upside at this point. I mean, I guess looking at this here, if we take the top and the bottom here, this would be our target up here, but it can go to the 78.6, so it can go to the 15.2. So what we could say that if, let's just say that we're completely wrong, if I am wrong, then just look for a classic trade. I mean, because at the old high here is going to, give resistance, isn't it? There's, and so on. So that would be the sort of safer long trade for the journey to the upside at that point. And you would also look to add on top of group 1 here as well within that. We do need to be a little bit sort of careful because we will be looking for this wave 5 top up here, but I think that's going to be a bit further up. But yeah, I mean, it's possible that we could get 5 waves to here and then have a correction and then have this move here and then this move here. So yeah, probably a sort of a shorter term trend in this case, the 15,000. Well, the next level really that you'd be looking to trade would be the 500 at that point. Now, of course, it can go above that, and of course it can continue up, but I'm just talking about looking at, possibility of this moving up here higher. So the 15,200 would be the change of trend at that point. And if it drops below here, all you need to do is count 5 waves down the best you can. And it should be, in a nutshell, it should be about the same length as wave A here. So wherever that may go to. So you could probably start looking to purchase, around this number here. For that would be sort of fair and square, so to speak. So yeah, that's sort of where we are, but we'll take a closer look at those and compare that with the S&P and so on. So just what I want to do, this wave 3 here that I talked about, when I've got the Apple here, that started, yeah, this started later, didn't it? That started 22 October. So yeah, Apple started later. The other, this tech stock, tech sector here that started with the, around the S&P and all the rest of it around that sort of October low there, where this one here started, not from this low, but over here. So another leg down at that point, So maybe, I've got it right there. And thanks, Michael, for sending through your thoughts. I couldn't quite grasp where I went sort of wrong. If you could just send a chart on that, that would be very helpful. So this particular top here, we can see that, I might just bring up, I was looking at this on another, because I like to double check things. This is just Apple on a 2-minute chart. So this is the A wave here, an A and a B and a C wave here, and we should come down for that other leg here. But I just wanted to look at the the volume here for a moment at this point. So we can see that on this bar here we got selling volume, and even though this is trading view, and I don't know if they update the volume later or what actually happens on this, but so far the move up here is on less volume than this bar here, so that's not a good sign. That means that the sellers are still in control. The buyers haven't moved in here yet. So just check that at the end of the day on that front. So when we sort of drill in here, I'm thinking that in some way or another I've made a mistake, and we need this wave 3 to be up here. That's what I'm sort of thinking a little bit. Yeah, so I mean, the point here is that if you're a holder of Apple, then you're up at the 200 mark really. So we're just sorting out the smallest correction within all of this. So it's not a biggie. I'm just going to go to the 1000 tick chart here. So yeah, just checking here. So yeah, so expecting a correction that could take us back to this level here, but obviously I don't think that's the case. But I just still think we should be looking for another little leg down here. Obviously this here I need to talk about too, so I'm going to go to the 100 ticks. There is an issue within all of that, so I'm just going to bring in a little bit more data, not too much to swamp me out, but just enough to. So this particular move to the upside here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 for the third and fourth, but the fourth wave overlaps the wave 1 here. That's what I was wondering, Michael, if that was what you're talking about at the 182 here. But obviously that's a bit of an issue. This is pretty clear here, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's that's cool at that point. So perhaps this doesn't have to pull back here further, but just to let you know that there's an issue here. But I think it's kind of important to line the ducks up a little bit, with not all the markets, but some of them that are quite similar to the NASDAQ, so to speak. So 2 points here. We could view it like that, but we could also, I might need to change it into this point. So that's an issue. The second issue just here is wave 4 overlapping wave 1 here. So that's a little bit of an issue as well. So there's a couple of situations there. Now the second thing here is that I think that the pattern here is the A, the B and the C wave here. I'm not a big spikes fan, so I would normally put that up there, but spikes are real and it can stop you out. So yesterday we also, an A and a B and a C wave to here or to here, right? And then an A and a B and a C wave here. It doesn't look like it, but it's actually 1 and 2 here, and then 3 and 4 in here, and then 5. Now, the other thing here is that yesterday we talked about a stop here. So for a stop, we're waiting for the first spike down below the level, and then once that drop comes in below the 84.50, then we would put that under here. So that's kind of where it is now. It may have got you and it may not have, and all these sort of things. There's different things can happen, different things occur, so, but that was generally the idea of it, Now the situation here now is that this length, let's just include the spike here to look at the worst of it. So normally the A wave and wave C can have a bit of a relationship in them. So it's quite possible for this to pull down to 183. Now, 83 is the top of group 1 of 80. So we should see a good support at that level. But that's what I'm kind of thinking. I'm thinking that in some way we'll be looking down here and then up here for this. So I was thinking that well, a couple of things. You could either take some money off the table here if the 185 becomes the retested resistance. So that means I'm just going to remove this now. So just in case I got it wrong, and this is actually 5 waves up here, and then we come back again and we go up. So if we allow this to come down here and give us that first low below the level here, I think I'm going to move the stop out of the way down here. Stop it. We can take some money off the table at this point. So just allow that to play out, because that could be an A wave, a B wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and finish here. So that spike under here now will be there, and I'll just remove that. So you can take as much as you need to off at that particular point. If for whatever reasons this top gets taken out, then we need to be long at that point again. Okay. So just managing the situation the best we can. It's not a perfect world. So you have choices here with all of this. Okay. Rightio. So that's Apple, and now we're over to Amazon. And I have to say, all this here is a bit damn messy, It does appear that we've got sort of 5 waves down here for this. So let me just double check that again. Let's have a quick little look. It will definitely need some work in there to do that. The other point here is that okay, yeah. Look, I can see every which way I look at this, there's problems, What I can go off is see this one over here where we had this move here. That's corrective to me, Sure, it could be an ABC for the A wave, and then a B wave, and then a C wave up here. But then this move here is also corrective now as well. That's definitely not in 5. Even if we didn't have the spike here, we use one of these other ones over here. We don't have 5 waves here. We have that could be 5 waves. That's definitely 3 waves here. So yeah, I mean, I could look at this as a little wave 1 and 2 here. I could even probably, we've had wave 4 over here, and we'll be tossing up which wave 4 here as well, because there's more spikes further back in the history. But we're generally speaking, we're still impulsing to the upside. This is given us a pretty complex sort of situation here that can be viewed in different ways. This particular little position, this position here, we had the stop here. I'm bringing it over to here now. You could even bring it up to this point here. Now, you certainly may get stopped out because this one here is looking like it's in 3 waves. So there's issues all over the place. I'm going to bring it back here though. And that will also mean when I put the stop here, it means that, a spike below the level here. Okay, that's the way to save yourself, because if you just do that, it just adds another layer of, hope in there. Oh, I didn't notice a little gap in there, but yeah, so I don't really know about this, I don't have a lot of confidence in this. I know the trend is still to the upside. I don't have a problem with that. So if you've got long-term positions, then you just need to hold at that point, And in that case, you keep the stop under here. If this number here became the retested resistance, then we would sell at that point. But when we use this number here, it can actually, what we normally do is bring it into 1.5 here, because it can spike at that point. Most of the time it will sit in within group 2 here, and it's not an issue, but this is kind of where the longer term stop would have to be at this point. But yeah, I don't really know about this much here, to be honest. I don't have a lot of confidence in it. I mean, it kind of looks impulsive, and it is moving higher, and it is giving us these corrective waves back here, so that's something positive. So I'll just continue to say that I don't know, but the takeaway is that the trend is, you know, to the upside. I just don't know what the hell it is, really. That's the truth of the matter. But this is my best bet, but I'm not that comfortable with that either, you know. But anyway, it's in a trend. It's doing something weird. Okay, so NVIDIA, a bit of a powerhouse here. So okay, well, that sorted that out, hasn't it? So I was looking at 1 and 2, as you may know, and then we're looking up as 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third wave. I suppose, yeah, it's a little bit tricky in here. Most of it's okay as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for this. I just feel like we could even put this over here, a bit further over here. Let me just check this again here. Yeah, it makes it a bit difficult here, you know, because I wonder if this is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And yeah, sure, I know there's overlap here. Otherwise, it's all up for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, the way that I got it here. You know, that would be more that would be more correct at that point, but it's hard to see inside this spike here. So there's a couple of things here, but even if that was, you know, even if that was 1 and 2 here, then, and this was 3 here, then this fourth wave overlaps here. Unless I look at this as a 5-wave structure and I look at this as some sort of other situation here, but I can't put that over to here. An A and a B and a C at that point. This doesn't finish off very nicely here, but I'm not too fast. We kind of know where we are with this anyway. The only thing I didn't know is if we're going to pull back to this point, either this one or this one. But since I've done this, the videos, the market's pushed up, so that sort of clarified that. So we'd have to look at this as 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. So there's still further. 40's never really a big deal, but you know, there'll be some sort of dance across here, but we'll push up further up there. So we don't need this here at the moment. I'll just. Is that 39%? Huh. Okay. Yeah. So we've been working through here, and we looked at this, and that's okay. But you could see here, you know, the thing is here is that with a trend, as you know, that we've got a beginning, we've got the middle, and we're going into the end of this now. So the 450 here, I could probably extend the whole trend out even further, but I feel quite comfortable about that third wave being there, you know. The fourth wave was a little bit small, and the top here doesn't really make a lot of sense, and I could have made an error in here, but generally speaking, everything is okay. The only sort of thing I could imagine myself doing is putting some sort of wave 3 over here for this, you know, but then that would put it out of whack with the NASDAQ and the tech stock thing that we looked at, you know, this one here, because I got to kind of, the tech, we're back at the tech sector here, because I got to kind of continue to play this. This is the, you know, this is the blueprint of what's going on. So we'll have, you know, some sort of wave 4 here, and then a wave 5 here, which will be much the same length as this, and then we'll have a wave 4 here, and then we'll have a wave 5 up there to make this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up there to make this one, and then there'll be a 4 and 5 here, and then there's going to be an A and a B and a C wave here, and then there's going to go up again at that point. That's sort of the gist of it. So yeah, I mean, it's sort of running off ahead. It's ahead of the game at the moment, but you've got to have leaders and followers, isn't it? So I'll just leave it at the time being, but I think I might put a little question mark here just for myself, really, just to double check that the best I can. There's my question mark. So we'll just put that there for the time being. I'll try and resolve that in some way. And I might just change that to 39 to 38 so I don't look like a total tosser. Okay. Yeah, let's just see what it does at the 450 here. Let's just see what it does, you know. I mean, you know, normally the worst, when you get to 4 here, it's normally a push straight up, but and we got a classic trading levels pattern here where we had the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and it was in group 1 and those sort of things, and now we're getting support on top of group 1. So, I mean, normally I could also look at this as the arrival here, the reaction here, the first high above the level, but because we're getting support on top of number 3 here, it's kind of telling me that we've got to choose this one as the, you know, as the correction at that level, and that's completed. But normally when this is done here, we should just push up to here. That's the other thing here, you know. So, and this is leading as well. So this, we should be able to do something with this, but I think we'll just look for a classic trading levels pattern here and try to figure that out a little bit. Sorry to yak so long on these. Right, meta here. I'm just looking at this in different ways as well now. It could certainly just continue to move up from here because even though this looks impulsive, it's actually not. So it can be counted as corrective as in 2 different ways. You could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave here. Or you could go an A and a B and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So I've had a bit of a look at that. That's corrective. We can go up from that point, you know. But what I wanted to just do is, this is the 61.8% retracement level here. It's possible for this to come down here further before going up at that point. So I don't know what you'd like to do with the stop at that point, but whatever happens here, it will be corrective. So you might want to think about taking some money off the table up here if it moves down. So that way, the way we could do that is, let's just assume that this is an impulse wave to the upside for a moment. We'll take it a little bit higher. I'll take it here because that will just give us a bit of reality check as well. So that it could come back to this level here and then push up. So that all could be wave. This could be a wave 1 and wave 2 here. Okay, so what we could do is, if you wanted to, is that if we get the spike below the level here, then we can bring this stop up to that point, or you could take a percentage off it at that point and hang in there at that point. So I'll just leave that. I'll just leave that there, but it's kind of good to lock in a bit of profit. It just depends on how you trade, that's all. You know, if you're a longer term trader, then you don't really have to worry about it too much. You know, this is the target area up here, and in a way this position here, because what will happen when we get here is we'll just get a classic trading levels pattern here. And if you've got that position here, that means that we could also, later on in life, we could also get another one over here and then start building above over here once we get that arrival, reaction, first high above the level, the ABC, that will come back into this space here anyway. Or you may not want to hold that long either, you know. This, but yeah, so it just depends on how you positioning yourself. So yeah, I did change this a little bit. I was looking at this just as 1 and 2, so this is what I've changed, but I had the 1 and 2 there already, but 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then wave 5 up here. Now last time we spoke, I had this as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 up here for the third wave and coming back for the fourth wave. So as a fourth wave here, it's at 38.2%, so it can go up there. It's just that the NASDAQ and that some of the stocks have got, you know, the opportunity to pull back another one over here. And if that's the case, then I have to put that blue wave 3 in there. So yeah, this is what I don't know. Either one fits reasonably well, I suppose. Do I have a bias on this? Not really. I mean, if it was a wave 2 here and I had, you know, because here I got an ABC here. If it was a wave 2, then I would call that finish at that point. But because it's a wave 4, it can have an A wave here, a B wave, and a C wave. That probably won't come down much at all. Probably this is the 50-60% from the low to the high here. I know it's not like wave 1 and 2 here. But the length of this A wave here would be much the same length as the next one in here, you know, so I can just shorten that up a little bit here, wherever that goes up there. So it'd probably come back into this space here anyway, you know, and there's good support over here too for that. So this would end up being over here for that type of thing, you know. So not a biggie, you know what I mean? So anyway, we'll just see. So Netflix as well. So looking at, we've had this as a wave 3, and we talked about the possibility of coming down here further. It's also possible to put, as it stands, a bit like Facebook, but this is a little bit clearer here for you to see because there's sort of 3 legs here. So we could do that. That's possible. We could also bring this back here and look at it this way here too, with some sort of situation like this, you know. So there's 2 ways of looking at this, but we're just going to keep the stop out of the way because we know the trend is higher, and this is trending quite nicely, not as strong as NVIDIA, but it's got some legs here, and we talked about taking some money off the table around the, I think it was a 338 to 40 there, so you know, maybe that's okay, you know. Can you look to add here? Yeah, you can, but let's just check out. See the length of wave 1 down here? This length here, that will be the length of wave 5. Now, obviously, that's not going to be the case because we'll take out the top here. So in that case, what we do, if we've got this extension here, we can look at it a bit differently. You can look at it as a 61.8%. So if it did come back to, if it came back to the 38.2% here, then this would be our target here at the 480. But we should get, in all fairness, we should get sort of beamed up to planet 5 here on this one. So that's probably what will happen at this point, and that just makes sense for me at that point. And that will be over there, and that will be further up there, and so on. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, ABC pattern, and then further up. We'll look at the bigger picture when we get to there, but yeah, so once again, it can certainly just continue to push up from here. That could be a little wave 1 at this point. I'm not saying it is. It could also be an A wave, an ABC for the B wave, and down here, you know. There's a couple of ways that could play out, but I don't think we need to worry about it. We'll just chill because we're trend trading that one a bit. So Alphabet, yeah, we looked at this in 2 different ways. We looked at it as possibly well, an A wave to here, an A, B, C for the B wave, and then down for the C wave. That's one way we're looking at it. The other way we're looking at it is from here, putting wave 4 over here, and looking at this here as wave 1 here, and this would be wave 2 coming back here. It's not such a good fit, so I've gone with this one at this point, but I understand both cases. I mean, this is better as an A and a B and a C wave here, rather than trying to get 1, 2, 3 into here, 4 here, and then using the spike as wave 5. Probably not realistic at this point. This move up here is also currently 3. Oops, daisy, wrong one. This one here is already 3 waves up here, so that can just drop from here. It doesn't need to do these other things here I was looking at here as an A and a B and a C. It's already got the A, B, C here, so that can just come straight down from here. So yeah, we'd be looking maybe some sort of spike below the 120 before we move up here. This will be the supporting area through here for this. So yeah, anyway, it's been a bit long and laborious, this one, but that's where we are. And we've got some trades that are going long term here. You might have gotten out of them, and we'll probably be going down further, but we're going to hold down here and look to buy more once we get an impulse wave. And Microsoft. So Microsoft is another one too that I'll have to check on to see if I need this wave 3 there, but I'll double check on that in due course. So I could look at this as an ABC and be finished here. I could also look at the B wave and coming down to the C wave here to roughly this wave 4 here. So I think that's pretty much the case of some type of this situation. It's possible that we could go down here and then go up here and then go down here. I just don't see the buying opportunity here just yet. It's not strong enough. I need the rest of the market with me, you know, on this. So, you know, coming back to the NASDAQ here for a moment, I've got to see if the NASDAQ is going to give me this B wave here and then C wave down here, you know. Once we're down here, then everything's a buy at that point, you know. Just don't want to get trapped here on this by going in too early. So we'll just give this a little bit of time. We'll just be a little bit mature about it. And yeah, so that's Microsoft at this point. And Tesla is sort of doing its own thing to the upside here, helping the B wave up in most other cases. So let's just, so we've got this wave, this orange wave 2 here, which is minor degree, and then minute degree here. So we're basically looking up here. We're looking from wave 2 to wave 3 up here. And we've got wave 1 and 2 here. And then we've got from blue wave 2, we're going up to blue wave 3. And then we're looking for 5 waves between 2 and 3. So we've got green 1, green 2, and green 3 here possibly. I think, can't remember exactly what I talked about here, but I know that just goes there. That's why I couldn't remember. It's not that I'm losing my marbles just yet. So 3 and 4, and then yeah, I started to look at this. So that's really zoomed along. So I think that I've got the right count here. So yeah, I was looking at this as 1 and 2. I've kind of ignored the spike here again. So I've just kind of, I mean, I could go over here, but then I'll still ignore this one because I want to try to get 5 waves between here and the next wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. And the same here again as well. This little wave 1 up here, we'll need this as 1 and 2 here and 3, 4, 5. But you could do it here too, but then it overlaps that. And so I'm just going to be a bit philosophical here. So, I'll just leave it at that for the time being. So yeah, this is looking okay. So I could just borrow this here. I'll just join all the dots. So it is zooming up a little bit higher. So that will give us what we still need, this other little dude here. That one, we can move that out of the way. We can take that, and that. Gotcha, that's good. So, well, we'll just put that up there for the time being. I That can stay in group 2. This can stay here somewhere. Still need this one. Yeah, so it's a little bit like that, really. I mean, give or take, take that with a pinch of salt. But the fact that we've got a tested support here, and we went long again here, I thought we'd sort of come down, at that point, but obviously we haven't, and that's why we're going to I had the option of taking some money off the table at that point, but you may not have. Yeah, I think that's right. That could just put back here though. That could give us, that's good there. That's here. We'll get some little classic trading levels pattern here for that. This wave one here was quite small, so this should be okay here at that point. And then this one, just making it a bit, this will be at the 90 perhaps. Might even end up higher, I don't know, It might sort of fade a bit earlier than all of this as well. We'll see. But yeah, it's looking at this number here. Now it's got support here, it just goes to that number, and if it's going to have a headache along the way, it will be this in group 2 here, but it seems to be moving through all of that quite nicely. And I wanted to have a look at the bank here, just keeping a bit of an idea on it. We're looking at this Bank of America here. We're looking down at an ABC for the B wave here, then 1 and 2 and 3 here, an A and a B and a C wave over here for wave 4, and then one more leg down here. In the meantime, we can look at, we still need wave 5 to go up here, and you can see how long wave 3 took. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 2 weeks of trading, and same here. So it might be 2 weeks before we get here. It is overlapping at the moment, I know that, but this is what large numbers do. They kind of skew things a little bit. The other count here is we put wave 4 over here and look at this as wave 1 to the downside with an ABC pattern here, but it's holding up quite nicely. I was looking at Goldman's. They're also looking quite soft as well on all of this. Anyway, that's sort of where we are for this. I'll just keep a bit of an eye on it, they'll all sort of go together. I suppose when, I suppose this will drop here in 2 weeks. We'd have to be at a reasonable correction within the S&P and the NASDAQ. We'd probably have to be at minor degree or intermediate degree. So I'll just check on that. And that's just Bitcoin bouncing off the 25 there, which is nice. So we could have a lower in for that now. The move is sort of due to BlackRock moving into the Bitcoin space, lodging a trust product with the SEC. So that's going to be a game changer for this. I did buy some more at this point, so I was a bit happy about that. But we'll see how it goes. This could be the next run to the upside. So yeah, the way that this is looking at the moment, we could end up at 40, 50 up that way somewhere. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.